Hey guys, welcome to our team call. It's Monday, June 13th. Yes, June 13th. And our topic for tonight is our Bora takeaways. And no, Karri and I aren't going to talk about the ocean. We're not going to talk about the helicopter ride or the spa. I'm just kidding. No, really, we're not going to talk about that stuff. But what we want to talk about is our takeaways from what we learned from the rest of the other top 10 coaches there. We did have some time where we sat in a circle and told our stories, and it made Karri and I really realize that they came from really hard lives, and there was a lot of adversity that was present in their stories and a lot of struggles they had to overcome. And, a lot of the top 10 coaches wanted to quit and had, very good reasoning to quit, just like, oh my gosh, from drug addiction to eating disorders to depression. I mean, while they were coaching, this would come in and out, and they just didn't give up, and it took them super far. And so we just kind of want to talk about that and just share our takeaways from being with that group of people last week. So you want me to start, or you want to start, Karri?
I just love how we're like totally on the same page of like everything that you're touching on right now. I had those same words down, the struggle, which led to success, because of like, these were themes that just kept coming up over and over while we were there. And it's not like it was like a performance. Everybody was real. Everybody was so raw and transparent. I personally, from the outside looking in, wasn't close with any of the top 10 coaches other than Megan. And going in, I was a little nervous because they have quite impressive Facebook personalities, if you will, like, amazing followings, each and every one of them. And I was nervous about going there and just being me. And honestly, by day 3, everyone was just being themselves, and confidently so, unapologetically so, almost like a powerful way. And one thing that just kept coming up was the reason why they didn't quit or give up on their dreams, the reason why they're still here today, the reason why they didn't stop when it seemed impossible to possibly even get out of bed that day, was because they all had someone in their corner saying, because of you, I didn't give up. Whether it was a family member, whether it was a stranger, whether it was, a new Facebook friend, a neighbor. I mean, they all had that same theme within it. And whether or not you realize it now, every single one of you on this call is inspiring somebody right at this very moment to not give up on themselves. And in the world that we live in today, that is priceless. You're giving people all around you, whether they are saying it in those words or not, inspiration to be better, do better. And, I'm just so thankful that I was able to experience this trip, because those things are the types of stories that do not leave you. And like Megan was saying, their stories were so powerful, so raw, so when I think of how hard my life has been, and the struggles that I have gone through, their eyes have seen even more than me. And it's amazing what they've been able to do, and how this business has blessed them to not just change their lives, but change and leave a different legacy for their families. So if you want to start and go, and I'm just ready to piggyback on whatever you're going to say, because it was just so incredible.
Yeah. We'll just talk. We'll have a conversation. One thing that really hit me when I was there is, so a lot of my leaders, and Karri knows that I've been having this ongoing debate with myself. If you're hopping on, make sure you mute so you don't have that kickback. I can't figure out who it is. I've been having this debate with myself over the top 10 this year. You know, do I go for it? Do I not go for it? It's a lot of work. I don't know if I'm going to have the time to put into it like I did last year. I need to focus on other things in my business. You know, like all of these, like just fighting with myself the whole first part of the year. And I get on this trip and I realize that, like, you know, the other top 10 coaches struggle too, but they don't create excuses for themselves and they just keep going. You know, it's just kind of like they kind of skim over it, like, oh, I don't know if I can recruit that many coaches. I really need to focus on my leaders this year, but I'm just going to keep trying my hardest. Like, and I just get so stuck, like, you know, just, I mean, I remember nights, you know, in the past couple of weeks where I've been whining to my husband in the kitchen, like, do I do it? Do I not do it? It's so much work. I don't know if I can do all the work. And they just do the work and they don't think about it. They don't think twice. It's like inviting. It's like the people that you need to talk to, you just need to do it and quit thinking about it. And I'm just kind of like, that's exactly what I preach. And here I'm sitting here saying, like, I don't know if I'm going to do it. And I just create excuse after excuse after excuse because I get so stuck on that one thing because it's hard work. I should just do it and see what happens, because I know that if I try my hardest, I'll be happy and I'll see success out of trying hard, even if it's not the top 10.
Right.
Maybe my volume doubles. Maybe I bring on a whole bunch of new rock stars. Maybe a whole bunch of new people lose a bunch of weight and everybody's happy. You know, it's like good things are going to come out of trying hard. Just shut up and try hard. That was my takeaway.
Exactly. And Megan doesn't know this, but I mean, Megan is an amazing friend, amazing leader on this team. And I mean, I just care for her so much. But she kind of, sometimes I feel like I'm going to get emotional because you, well, you validate me as a leader all the time. And I think we do that to each other in a very nice way. But one of the coaches had brought up whether or not I was going to go and try, you know, am I inspired by this trip and want to be a top 10 coach also? And Megan's like, she's shooting for 15 this year. And, you know, and she talked about my volume. She talked about my pay, and she, you know, just edifying me right in the presence of all these incredible leaders. And when she got up to the bathroom, I said, you know, I kind of feel like, and it was natural into the conversation we were just all having at the table. I said, I kind of feel like Megan's, you know, making an excuse for me. And I know, and I can see and get an idea of what's going into this hard work. And the amount of hours that these coaches sacrifice, not only for their immediate PS coaches and their immediate teams, but their teams as a whole. And I'm talking like 14-hour days, people. And we're not saying that so that you duplicate that or try to do that. But my point of this is that you guys all have an incredible, crazy, awesome leader on our team. And I think you sometimes forget that. You know, Megan is my partner in crime on this, and it's been an amazing journey. But I mean, she's the definition of sacrifice, definition of commitment, definition of consistency. And I think some of you guys forget that when you're like, oh, you know, I talked to so-and-so as a leader. And I'm like, awesome. You know, like, that's great. You guys realize Megan was third this past year, right? She is doing this better than everybody else. In my opinion. And yes, I am biased a little bit, but she's doing this. She did that through a pregnancy with 3 little ones, with less than 5 assistants, you know, with children, you know. I'm not here to say a comparison game, but I'm here to say that if you commit to doing this and make non-negotiables that fit with you and your family and your lifestyle, great things will happen. Like Megan is saying, people will change their lives. People will lose incredible amounts of weight, be healthier, and live longer because of that. Don't take what we do lightly. Many of you treat this like a hobby, and myself included at times. And I'm not here to throw anyone under the bus. But if we started treating this like $1 million business, which it is, I think you guys would see that maybe you need to put a little bit more skin in the game. You know, if you were your boss, like if you were a boss of you, just for a second here, if you were a boss of you, would you still be a Beachbody coach, or would you have fired yourself? You don't get to pick and choose when you show up to work. You signed up to be a Beachbody coach. You're on this call because you want to grow a business, and you don't get to just pick and choose. When we say consistency, we mean it. You know, when we say make the Success Club non-negotiable, do that. So my question here is, who can put more skin in the game? Who can say, I am really making this non-negotiable? Because that was what I was with for the last week and a half. I was with people that were so transparent and open on what they were doing, and it's not different than what any of us are doing. There's no secret. It's just being that much more consistent. It's just showing up when you don't feel like showing up. And, you know, to say that Melanie Mitro is probably one of the most down-to-earth girls that you'll ever meet. And I can say that confidently. But she shows up every single day in every single way. And, you know, like another point that was really powerful was it doesn't have to be perfect. It has to be done. So I don't know, I'm just going off a little bit there, but that was one of the huge takeaways, you know, it's hard for us to preach in our own land, if you will, but I guarantee if any of the other 9 coaches were on this call saying this same exact message to you, because that's what they would be saying, there really aren't any secrets, guys. It's just being consistent with your daily vital behaviors, hitting Success Club. I know that sounds like a broken record, but it's the truth. That's what they all said. You know, they're all talking about their Success Club base, meaning the coaches in their own team that hit Success Club. That's where the magic happens. So you hitting it and then helping your team do the same thing, that's all it's about. And if your team consists of just you right now, then you do your part. And then when you have other coaches joining you, then you help them do their part. Did you see that post on the wall today?
No, I was just listening to you take it to church.
That one fired me up too. Like, doors closing tomorrow. I'm like, what is this about?
I need to go read it, I guess.
You really need to think about this as a business, not a hobby.
I mean, yeah, that really, I turned to you at one point in the trip, and like even their husbands, who we all know don't work the business, talk about it like the business, like this is our business. All the husbands said that. All of them. So, I mean, it's just, well, you know, it's just something that goes on in their household. Like it was that decision, like, I'm going to treat this like a business. I need your support. This is what I'm going to do, you know, and they all just started to treat it like a business, and it got them to where they are. And something I wanted to point out again, and I've said this before, but I really believe that we are in a very unique business where we can use what we learn working on our health and fitness goals to get those results. We learn consistency. We learn to be persistent. We have to learn hard work through our fitness goals, and we can apply that to our business efforts. It's really the same thing. You work hard at it. You treat it like something you really, really want. Melissa McAllister wasn't even supposed to walk. That was part of her story. Do you guys know who Melissa McAllister is? Like fitness superstar. Her
I don't program again if you don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like she's in Pio. Yeah, she's in Pio. She's in Turbo Fire. She's one of the like biggest master trainers. She's one of the first 3 master trainers to do the country heat. Long dark hair, like gorgeous, 6-pack abs, mother of 2, 42 years old. She wasn't supposed to walk. The doctors told her that they were going to amputate her feet. But her parents kept fighting for her. And then she kept fighting. And look at her. I mean, it's like, I just, the stories I heard from those coaches and just looking at them now, you know, before the trip, I would look at Melissa and say like, oh, she's been fit all her life. She's just a sweet person. Like the money just fell in her lap. No, like there was adversity and there was struggle and she had to work hard for it. She had to overcome a struggle to get where she's at. And she learned that with her physical struggle and applied it to her business. So, I mean, I was like, I am not worthy. I was just a crying mess when I heard that story. It's amazing. It really is.
And then, I mean, her husband's story was just as powerful with the struggles that he's gone through. And so, like, that was a huge thing going through that whole time we were there in Bora Bora, that the struggle is developing your strength for tomorrow. I mean, some of you might feel like you're in a struggle right now or watching friends and family that are in a struggle right now. Own that. That's developing your strength. And it's just going to make you stronger. It's just going to make you better. It's just going to make you more relatable, you know? So, like, I wish I had a better word than incredible or amazing or awesome, because I just kept saying that and I just kept letting them know and, you know, thanking them when I was saying goodbye of, you know, being so transparent and being so relatable and being so open and honest. And it was all about sharing their stories, you know, and your story is going to evolve and your story today might not look like your story next month, and just keep being consistent with sharing those stories and sharing those struggles. I'm not saying having like pity parties on Facebook. That's not what we're saying here, but you know.
Yeah, for sure. And another night we were sitting at dinner. This is just another takeaway. Just refreshing to know that, like Melissa said, her last top 10 trip to Bora Bora 5 years ago. They did it 5 years ago. She was in qualification for a new 15-star diamond, and her volume was like lower than yours and mine. Like, I mean, she's under who again? Like downline of Christine Dwyer, Janelle Summers, something like crazy volume over there. But at some point, there was a starting point for her. And it's just refreshing to hear her talk about it. Like, oh, yeah, that was 5 years ago. Well, I haven't even been in the business 5 years. Give myself a break, you know? It's like, just stay consistent. It's going to grow. So,
yeah. And, like, mouth off the table grow. I had to look at Megan and say, was that
we were both like,
I mean, $25,000 to $35,000 a week.
A week.
A week.
It's insane.
And they all started with the same situation we all started with, and that's 0 coaches below us. Well, some of you might have been granted into a spot, but most of us are 0 coaches below us. And then they were just consistent and they showed up daily and they realized that they may struggle, but no one would ever see them quit once they had that one person that said, you're changing my life. Quitting wasn't an option any longer because it wasn't about them. It was bigger than them. It was bigger than their goals. It was amazing. I mean, there are so many takeaways, and they're all tied to, you know, just a struggle. Life is a beautiful struggle, and we have a choice. And I think a lot of them have this mastered. Between every action that happens to them, they realize that moment that they have a choice before they react. And that's something that I try to do, and that's something that my husband works really hard on. A lot of people, that doesn't come naturally. A lot of people are naturally defensive, or in that defensive mode where something happens to them. And I say to them because when you say something's happening to you, it sounds like it's not in your control. I don't even like to say that something's happening to me. And there's a choice before you react, before you take action. And I think we need to focus on those little things that are going to help you grow as a leader and help you share your story in a more powerful way. And it's just embracing the imperfection that's you. I mean, Beachbody does so much for us with their marketing. I mean, they do 90% of our marketing for us. Most people you're going to talk to are going to know about Insanity and P90X. Not because you're telling them, but because they already know it. So it's working on you and being the best you. I think that really makes a difference.
Definitely. Oh, and Jeff Hill is going to fix the chat link in the online office.
Did you talk to him about that?
I thought he confirmed it through you.
Oh, okay.
Because we got to eat with Jeff Hill, and Michael Neiman was there, and the one thing Karri said was, "Can you please fix where the chat option is in the online office?"
Yeah, we were going through a few things, and because I mean, talk about genuine people. I mean, I don't know that he kept composure in any session that he was speaking. Jeff is just a raw person. I love it. Those of you going to Summit, I'm sure will see it. He just oozes with emotion. And he just wants to know how to better serve us. And that was one of the simple things we talked about. But he's working on a few things to get, corporate more on board with helping you guys feel edified, feel recognized, because the work that we're doing as a team is not going unnoticed. So I hope everyone plans to go to Summit. Yes, me too. Especially everyone on the call.
We're having a big party. Hello.
Yes. Speaking of events, if you're not getting to Summit, that is our very next big event. Make sure you get to Super Saturday. That's August 6th. Make that a priority. Let your family and friends know it's a priority for you. I know that lots of things go on in the summer and cookouts and whatnot. And I think if you share with loved ones that you care about, hey, I'm sorry I can't make it to the barbecue because this is a priority to me. This is something that I value. This is something that adds value to me. August 6th, you're going to want to look around for August 6th. Some might be August 5th, Friday night. Some might be August 7th, Sunday morning. But we have an interactive map in our online office that has many already established. If there are none around you, hold one yourself. Get people to come. 2, 3 people, that's enough to have a Super Saturday. So make sure you mark your calendar for that.
Yeah, that's another really good point about just showing up to something Beachbody. I don't know. I just felt like I was struggling before the trip. And, I mean, it was, yeah, I don't know. I just needed to be around other coaches and just get that mojo flowing again. Like the retreat, the leadership retreat that we hosted. I mean, I just feel so energized after something like that. Every Super Saturday, every summit, every leadership retreat, anything I can get my butt to, I get to it because I know that it helps drive me. And there's tons of, personal development available, and you meet with other coaches that have had the same struggles, but you can talk it out, and it's something to share on your social media so people can get a look inside of this community. It's always a good thing to get to something.
Yeah, one thing you're saying is like before you went there, you felt like you needed it. Need to work on your mindset or get that fire in your belly or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I think I went as obviously your guest, but I had those blinders off. Like I'm usually pretty good about keeping my blinders on, but what I started doing and I felt myself start doing is comparing my struggle to their highlight reels. Like all I see is their highlight reels on Facebook, even though they're sharing their stories, you still see the beautiful pictures with the nice lighting and you know what I mean? So I think these events also help us with that, with connecting with a community of like-minded people, feeling that power, positivity, energy, and, being surrounded by people just like you makes you realize that you're doing good. You're adding value to people daily by showing up and having, a heart of service to help others live better lives.
Right.
Can't wait for Summit either.
Yay.
So.
Well, I don't have anything else to add. I'm so glad you could come with me on that trip, Karri. Karri and your branch, you guys, us together, we just make such an incredible team. So you deserve to be there, every single bit of it. And I'm just so glad we got to fly that flag together in Bora Bora. Why didn't Carl go? We scared him away. No, I don't know. I did try to send a video and beg him to come, but he didn't. Maybe that's why. I don't know. I think they're working on stuff. And
there were 5 people that were repeat, right? 5 people that were repeat.
Yeah.
I thought it was really neat that they shared, this was their favorite group of leaders ever. And it was just, I don't know. I feel like just everything seems to be going in the right direction. And as long as we keep our blinders on and keep doing what we know we can do, the possibility is limitless. That's what I just kept hearing. That was my takeaway.
Yeah. It was awesome.
You guys are amazing. Don't let yourself forget that. By doing and stepping up to do what you're doing, that's a whole level of confidence that you should embrace and own. It's awesome. Awesome to watch. Happy Monday night. How do we go to bed after this?
I know. I just want to sit here and stare at everybody. Okay. Well, does anyone have any questions while we're here? All right. Well, I guess on that note, fist bump. Everyone have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.